Alright, hello and welcome back, friends, to another installment of a tank review with me, your boy Zero. Maybe this will be a short one, maybe not, I don't know. We'll see how much I can stay on track and how much weed I smoke through the recording of this. Alright, so I got a few more short form videos on the way. They're going to fill the gap until I get the bigger, larger projects I've got on the go finished up. So I've got like a new Bolo versus on the way soon, more episodes of a tanker's view that are a little bit longer form, and a lot more sci-fi flash fiction up the chute ready to go. So this one is one that's been bugging me for quite some time, and when an IP I really should love just disappoints me in a way that breaks my brain, I've got to do something about it. So Traction Cities from Mortal Engines, you're about to find out why you suck. My biggest overall issue with this IP is the utter inconsistency of scale. And on a side note, I swear above and below to all the gods, holy and unholy, get your scale straight is going to wind up being this channel's catchphrase before long. So let's start and probably end with what's the most glaring issue of this IP. Something so obvious, even a toddler who's been suddenly given the Helen Keller treatment could see. To start with, these things are huge, and like stupidly, massively effing huge, on the order of millions of tons. Like, by all rights, these things should literally collapse in on themselves under the sheer size of their own weight and bulk. To compare, a Mark 33 Bolo, which I featured on this channel on more than one occasion, is about 32,000 metric tons. But by comparison to its size, it's rather squat, wide, and low slung despite being, well, massive. Alright, and they're more or less the size of a couple of square city blocks. Now, London in Mortal Engines is 2,500 meters in width and length, and several million tons, and contains actual skyscrapers and buildings made of marble. Now, a big thick boy does not a tank or a combat machine make, it just makes it a thick and hungry boy. Points we're going to discuss later, as well as what these buildings are constructed of. But in this aspect right now, we're just going to look at its tracks. It appears to run on multiple sets of cat tracks. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the designers of the IP that they demonstrate they know how footprinting works. I'm probably wrong, so I'm going to piss all over this brief glimmer of hope I've given the IP. Just like Hasbro pisses all over the intellect of moviegoers everywhere every time they try to turn a 30-second toy commercial into a 90-minute feature-length film that shits on my inner child. Alright, so where was I? Right. Tracks. Now, I don't know how many of you actually have experience off-roading with track vehicles, but if you do, you know they require just an obscene level of maintenance. A lot. Seriously, just ungodly amounts of it. For an off-road vehicle, you can probably expect a 2-to-1 drive-to-fix ratio. Which doesn't sound like a whole lot until you realize that nothing on a track is easy to fix, or light. And the older that machine gets, the more that ratio gets skewed in the direction of it's always broken. So, these traction cities are outperforming modern main battle tanks comparatively, yet somehow need none of the maintenance or replacing of components while being subjected to geometrically greater stresses due to its size. Now, I'm somehow to believe that they've never broken link, bogies, or road wheels, or busted a torsion bar driving that city like they do through mountains, hills, and over everything else. And I don't know what imagination land metal that track's made from, but it's gonna wear, deform, and stress out over time and need replacing. It doesn't matter. That's why in movies you see spare parts bolted on tanks. It's for that reason. And the next point I'm going to bring up is the multi-track system. I've complained about this in the past, and rightly so. It's never done right. If you look at London, they're packed so tight together that one broken piece of track getting sucked in there is going to destroy that whole sponsor. It's going to cause it to throw track, bust road wheels, jam up sprockets, and if you don't believe that something so small can cause an entire track to go tits up, here's a picture of a main battle tank getting its proverbial frillies in a twist because of some humble barbed wire. And fortunately, I've never been in that situation directly, but So, carrying on with track and suspension. Just because you're a multi-million ton crawler doesn't mean you can off-road at ludicrous speed. Seriously, even track fields of today have to pick the best possible ground, because their weight, you can break your suspension by picking crappy ground just as easy as you can by enemy fire.
Now that's a lot of damage!
So, and these things have literally got stone and glass buildings affixed to them. So they had best be picking ground with no adjustment in elevation, because those marble and glass buildings are just going to collapse otherwise. The materials they're constructed of aren't meant to handle that kind of stress, and the kind of stress they believe these machines are capable of. The minute London stopped or started moving, its inhabitants would be thrown against every surface for starters, and then showered in broken stone and glass as everything is subject to Newtonian physics. Like, it doesn't matter if your IP has got energy weapons that'll sodomize a city in a heartbeat. Physics are a thing, and they're about to fuck your day up. Alright, speaking of physics, powering and feeding not only this machine, but its inhabitants, which require substantial quantities of foodstuff, water, medicine, which never seem to be shown grown anywhere, coupled with what only can be an astronomical power requirements for this traction shitty to run. This is where the stories of municipal Darwinism are supposed to kick in, which in itself is the dumbest, smooth-brained attempt at a subversive style of societal governance. Somehow, the whole planet, every disparate culture, abandoned millennia of learned science in re-establishing civilization by adopting the most fundamentally wasteful society possible, and survive further on by preying on smaller mobile shitties and consuming them in some kind of mechanical cannibalism. And in what way do they consume these cities? Oh boy, did you guess right, the dumbest way possible. For every other point I made on this list, a giant, fold-out, articulating ramp that opens up and is approximately 40% of the width of the shitty and digs straight into the ground, ripping it up. In reality, this would either cause a grinding halt, ejecting everyone outside of the city, on the outside of it, off of it, and everyone inside into a wall, or through a window, or into each other, a la Expanse Slowdown in Season 3, or B, spill up enough debris to trash all of the tracks, leading to the same result as A. It's like they designed everything in this traction shitty to be as ludicrously stupid and dangerous as possible. You figured a civilization advanced enough to build mobile cities could muster up non-light-of-sight weapons like missiles to disable a target and then move in and strip it. It beggars belief that any civilization would and could be this willfully ignorant and stupid, but here we are looking right at it and marveling.
Daddy, chill.
You know what, guys? I give up on this. This is sending me down a rabbit hole no one's got the time for. I could spend hours shitting all over this IP in every aspect, in every way, and still somehow love it completely. It's just dumb fun. It's completely unrealistic, but who wants realism in their movies anyway? So with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment and a like down below. Hit that sub button. Join us in the Discord. My Patreon's live now. If you feel like supporting this channel, help me get better equipment to help keep delivering you more and better content. Other than that, guys, see you next time. Peace.